good evening. Good evening. Tonight we are going over should a woman relieve her relationship once the relationship is over in her mind, as far as when her needs are not being catered to on 3T Radio or Talk That Truth podcast. What we are going to do again, we are going to speak the truth as we understand it, not just as we understand it, but as everyone we would want to understand it. And of course, again, we're going to go over get everybody's views, everybody's understanding. Of course, we have Brandy on, we have Brother Kenny on, and Monica. So as I said, tonight we will go into it. I'll first start off with the article, and which everyone's been talking about, which will starting off with Lori Harvey, because of course she was talking about. Well, I'm just gonna read the article. I'm gonna let the article speak for itself, and we'll go from there. I'm gonna go ahead and share the screen and get everybody on. So make sure everybody's good to go. Let me see. Let me see. Hey, by the way, let me get everybody. Your camera's good. Let's get it on. Let's cam up and let's get this thing going. All right. So, all right. Here's the article. Lori Harvey. She says when she was talking dating, she said, "If it's no longer serving me, I'ma move on. If it's no longer serving me, I'ma move on." And it says she was speaking with Tiana Taylor for an intimate discussion. She said and of course, everyone understands, like as the article is stating, her love life was on full display for years, and she moves from one relationship to the next. Lori Harvey has faced severe criticism. The model has been enjoying her dating life just as any other person would, but because she's often publicly tied to some of the biggest stars in the industry, or at least the most influential, she has often faced backlash over her choices. In recent years, she reportedly has romances with Sean Diddy Combs, Future, and Michael B. Jordan. And in the chat with Tiana Taylor for Bumble's Love to See It series, Harvey dished on her dating life. During the chat, Harvey discussed that because she grew up with brothers, she had an insight look on how men operated. I'm just going to move accordingly. Let's go down, and also, like, I almost got married very young, and so I think after that it made me be like, okay, Harvey added. I felt like I hadn't really experienced anything. I didn't really know myself. I didn't really know what I liked, what I didn't like. I just felt like I didn't experience life. So I think at that point, I was like, okay, I'm about to, just like I said, date on my terms. However, I want to move, whatever I want to do, I'm going to do it. If it's no longer serving me, I'm going to move on. So that's pretty much the gist of it. For everybody was talking, it's been talking about what's been going on in the dating life of Lori Harvey. So again, we'll get ready to get this started. I'm gonna come to Brandy. We'll go with you first. We'll get your thoughts on it. How do you feel about if it's no longer serving her, I'm gonna move on?
Oh, just great. Um, I don't really have a big issue about it because that's her truth. That's how she feels, and because of her age. So, I mean, why waste her mate's time and her time? And maybe some conversation should have been had before. I guess in the dating, um, as she's dating. But I don't really have, yeah, I don't think that what she's saying is wrong. I really don't. So I'll leave it at that.
All right. Next up, Kenny, go ahead. Give me your thoughts on it, and then we'll mix it up after Monica gets hers.
Okay, I'm gonna definitely go with the opposite end of the spectrum. I think there's a lot wrong with what she,
Of course.
mostly everything she was saying. I don't. I think now in society we've become comfortable with their, for lack of a better word, feeling that's quote unquote whole phase must take place first before you meet the man you gonna all of a sudden turn on the switch, hit a switch for, and say, okay, now I'm gonna be this woman that I have no practice of being. And men and women are different in every way. For her bringing the excuse of having brothers as a reason to move like a man is not really a good excuse. Men and women are completely different. I don't think anyone would go to a car dealership and say, "Oh, this car has the most miles on it. Let's get that one instead of the one that's completely brand new." So I don't want to say too much too early, but it's a lot going on that's wrong there.
All right, Monica, coming to you next. What's your thoughts?
Okay, I have mixed thoughts about this because the reality is nowadays, especially in the Black community, we're not really taught how to date properly. So if you're not getting any type of proper guidance while growing up, then I can see why she would have that thought process of, I'm just going to date freely. I don't think men and women should date the same. I understand that there is a difference, but if we look at it in 2023, are we really being taught how to date and vet correctly? Everybody, both men and women, are kind of like moving on their own terms, unless you are brought up with proper guidance. But as we know, most of us aren't. Most of our parents aren't teaching us how to date. We're all kind of out here free for all, doing what we want to do. So I can understand why she has that perspective of, I'm gonna do what I want to do, date freely, learn myself. That's kind of how the whole Black community is moving right now.
Okay. I guess I can go ahead and get my insight, or anybody got any rebuttals before I say anything. I just want to check and see what's everybody's thoughts on it as far as the comments made, because I heard two opposite ends of the spectrum on it. So I say, Monica, I don't know if you had any responses to Kenny, or yeah.
No, I mean, I understand what Kenny's saying, but I also understand that my upbringing and how I was taught is not how the majority of women out here are taught. So for most women, we are kind of just moving how we want to move. A lot of women do feel like, I don't want to get married young because I don't know myself. I can honestly say who I am now at 40 is not who I was in my 20s. So I can understand a 20-something-year-old woman in this day in society saying, hey, I want to explore my options. I want to see what's out there. I'm trying to enjoy life. And if she hasn't been taught any different, do we expect her to think any different?
So during this process, should we be giving everything we should be saving for that husband to all these men?
Now, I don't think you should be having sex with all these men. No. But if you're just trying to see who you are and what type of woman that you are so that you know what type of man that you want to follow, I do understand that.
I think her father plays a role in that at some point. I think
right. And the majority of us are growing up without fathers. So who is there to teach us?
I agree. Because I'm that person that didn't have a father who taught me the game, taught me, this and that. So I too, in my 20s was doing things, that I could say now, oh, I went about it the wrong way. I didn't have a lot of knowledge and guidance. So we are out here just trying to figure it out. But you also got to remember who her stepfather is, Steve Harvey. I'm pretty, because didn't guys have an issue with him spilling the game and telling all y'all secrets, right? Didn't y'all have a problem with that? So I'm pretty sure he's also kind of giving her, some guidance like, nah, baby girl, don't do it that way. Because you see he's always vocal about her relationships or how he feels. So I'm pretty sure she listens to that. I saw it from that perspective. And like I said to Monica earlier, would we be talking about her if she wasn't a pretty girl? Would we be talking about her? I don't think so. I don't. Because what's so special about her? I'm just asking.
I didn't know of her until the issue was brought to me either. So I don't think. I guess the way she looks may or may not have something to do with it, but I think it's the fact that she dated the guy from Black Panther that got her in the spotlight. I didn't know who she was. I didn't know who she was when she was dating Future. I didn't know who she was when she was dating P. Diddy.
But also, Michael B. Jordan, can I just be honest? He has a history of dating white women. So I don't know what their chemistry was when they got together. Like, I don't know if maybe he couldn't handle a Lori Harvey. I'm just saying.
There's that word. That's that one word I hate hearing when it comes to our sisters, handle.
Well, okay, let me not say handle, but
what is it that we have to that no grown woman should want or need to be handled?
I'm sorry, wrong choice. But maybe he just, they just didn't sync because of what he's used to. Maybe. I don't know.
That could play a role.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of times, like when I saw a lot of people in an uproar because she didn't want to be with Michael B. Jordan, they're like, oh, he's this perfect man. Do we really know who he was behind the scenes? We only see what the media shows us, but if the chemistry doesn't match, just because he is a man of high earnings or we look at him to be this epitome of what a Black man should be, does not mean that he was going to be a good mate for her.
Right. rumor has it he asked her for her hand in marriage, and she was
Mm.
like, "I'm not ready for that level of commitment." So she's out and totally fine with. She's ready to. She leasing. She not looking. She not renting to own. She just out here. She want to lease. She want to go from apartment to apartment.
Hey, well, she did say that, you know, I almost was married young and I decided not to
Yes,
get
she
married.
did.
Like she actually said that straight up, like, hey, I almost got married and then I decided not to. And it also it goes to the mentality of a woman like that. When you hear a woman that's has someone that's willing to marry her, you know, let's say he was going to marry. Let's say he actually proposed. And we know according to the standards of how we look at things in society, what is a man? It's a provider, and he has all these things needed to take care of her for the rest of her life, and she can be that in that submissive role as a woman. She has that opportunity and she rejects it so she can decide that, you know, she can explore options. When I hear explore options, I hear explore different penises. That's what I hear. I can't speak for everybody, but that's what I hear. I mean,
I heard a little sprinkle of that too.
Okay, yeah, a little sprinkle like she never mind. I ain't gonna say that. But anyways, yeah. She definitely, sprinkle me main. That's what she wants. She wants to explore that, and then she, you know, gets into. She gonna realize that the options start to run out after a while. You know, you ain't them options. They're not eternal. They're not perpetual. They're not everlasting. Them options dwindle after a while. You know, she may be like, yeah, she's having her fun, but at the end of the day, like, she's not realizing, you know, which most women don't, and that's kind of what's bad for society is they're going to see that, oh, as a young woman, I'm gonna be like her. I'm gonna explore my options, not realizing that she's gonna hit that wall that people talk about, which the wall is real. A lot of women don't think the wall is real, but you get to a certain point, you hit that wall, and then them looks start fading, and all the things that made you great or that got your foot in the door. Now, so many people ain't trying to, you know, bring you in that door. So I don't know. That's my thoughts on that so far.
I got something to say to what you just said. I just heard this recently. It says that a man's value when it comes to relationship and marriage gets better as he ages, whereas the woman's decreases over time because it's mostly based on the physical attributes. And I guess just the reality that a man will actually earn more throughout his lifetime. A man can also produce kids to the day he dies, as a woman only has a certain time to actually produce kids. I safely, I would say. So waiting is not really a good thing for women to do, but for the man himself, I mean, speaking outside of the truth, but the man gets better with time as the woman, all her attributes, what's the word I'm looking for?
Decline.
Yeah, depreciate over time.
Appreciate. Yeah. So, hey, really quick. Hold on, let me go ahead. I want to touch some of these comments because some of the ones in the chat. So I definitely want to make sure I get
okay.
Yeah. No, you good. Christina Israel asks, what's the purpose of a relationship? Which is something that we all, when it comes down to it, even we're talking about her wanting to explore her options, that's the question that people got to ask themselves. What is the purpose? The purpose of a relationship is to, you know, never mind. We just got to ask the question, what's the purpose? For me, I understand the purpose of a relationship is to get married, have children, you know, grow old with the person. You know what I'm saying? You want to be like Musiq Soulchild, you know what I'm saying? Talking about, you know, that whole, you get old with the woman and all that stuff. The love don't change. That's what we talking about. It's what a lot of people you would think they're aiming for, but are they aiming for that situation where they're sitting down with that woman that grew old with them and they saying, hey, I want to be with you, even if you gain a little weight, long as your love don't change. I ain't gonna get into gain a little weight thing right now. I'm gonna save it for another time. But on some real stuff though, we gotta ask ourselves what's the purpose, and a lot of times we don't really touch on that. What's y'all thoughts on that before we continue on?
I feel the purpose is for marriage. I think that is the whole point of us coming together, for us to get married and create healthy families. So I do feel like that is the purpose of us being in these relationships, not to just out dating and chilling, and when we get tired of each other, we ready to move on. I think throughout the dating process, you all should be coming together to see if you all can get married and form a family and move forward.
I agree.
Now, Kenny, what you got on that? My fault. My bad. Monica was going. My fault. I didn't hear. I thought she just said I agree. Go ahead.
Was it me or someone saying something?
No, I thought Monica was going to expound on what she said. She said, I agree. So, yeah,
No,
All
that was
right,
my
so
point.
Brandy, I said that. No, I agree with Monica, and I just want to add that just having that partnership that you can also build, build, things with that person, So that's all.
Okay. My bad, Brandon. That was you, Brandon. My bad. Go ahead, Kenny.
all right, so my outlook of the whole dating situation was molded at a very young age. So at the age of 12, like I lost my mom, and from the time I can remember to that time I lost my mom, it was all like terrible experiences with men who not want to stick around, not do the right thing, etc. So since the age of 12, I've had the goal of meeting a woman or a girl. So the sole purpose of building to the point of marriage, children, house, that kind of deal. So my whole phase never happened. So uh, for lack of better terms. So my purpose of relationship since the age of 12 has always been, let me find a woman who's, I guess, capable enough of marriage and eventually children. So I've only ever been in long-term relationships, and I mean, I hate to say this, but it would be nice to go back and get that phase back, but I never entered it to know what I was missing. But I saw it firsthand as a kid, and then I've seen, of course, other friends, other people go through it. So the purpose for me has always been marriage, children, the house on the hill type deal. So my perspective would be a lot different.
Okay. I'll go ahead. Somebody else said, go ahead. What you have?
Oh, I do want to say I agree with Kenny because I grew up around nothing but marriages. So I was kind of groomed to be in wife mode. But the problems that I found out growing up was that a lot of men weren't being groomed the same way. So me being groomed that way and then being around men that aren't groomed that way, if I was dating men that were of the same age as me, they were still wanting to go through their whole phase where I'm ready to settle down. So it was hard to find a good match when the men aren't being groomed the same way as the women are.
And so you said that twice. So I do want to touch on that because as
I
far as
can
the
speak.
men,
Hold on, I can speak to that being the same
hold on,
thing for me too.
hold
On
on.
the
Let me get this
opposite
real
end.
quick. Because she said the men aren't groomed that way to look for marriage. In this society, our men haven't been. Our men have been groomed to sow our royal oats, like on what's say Coming to America. We've been groomed to do that. We've been groomed to, if you get all these women, you're a great man. People love you. The men look up to you. The women want to chase you and all of this stuff. And that's what we were groomed to believe in. We weren't really taught the value, importance of actually seeking a woman that we see as special in the sense of our legacy, someone that's going to raise our children, someone that's going to serve us in the home, things like that. And yes, I did say service in the home because I know a lot of women be like, what you mean serve the man? Yes, serve the man. So we weren't taught to really search for that type of thing. And that's why you'll see a lot of dudes that say, I like a hood chick, or I like a chick that's mean that can talk crazy to me. No, that's not what you look for. You look for a woman that's going to cooperate with you, that's going to, fall in line with your program. But we're not groomed that way. So since we're not groomed that way, we're groomed to just because a woman that acts crazy, we're fine because we're fine dealing with her just for that short time. You know what I'm saying? That's the experience things I've seen and watching throughout my life. That's what I've, seen take place. Go ahead.
Oh no, that's basically. I mean, I was saying, that's what I was running into. The opposite of what she was running into. It's like women were not built for. Oh, let's be in this long-term relationship. Let's do this, that, and the third. It was eventually at some point around those ages where I was already ready for that. I said it started at 12 for me. So I'm 16, 17, 18, looking for something long-term. And, around that age, 20, 21, that's what's more important than the club and going out on the weekend and turning up. And then you leave high school and then go to college. When everyone thinks of the word college, I'm pretty sure we all had the same thing pop in our mind of, oh, it's turning up, college party time to be free from mommy and daddy and do whatever I want to do now, and nobody has to know. And there I was, even in, I could say, I guess my era, already at 18, 19, like I need to find somebody I can say, hey, I met this person when I was 18 and we've been together 30, 45 years now, but that's been was very hard to find.
Oh, it's gonna always be hard to find just because of how, like I said, how we've been trained, and even what you was gonna say. I know. Well, I thought you was gonna say about how our women weren't trained up to be, weren't trained to be wives. We know that, and that's why they'll have the mindset of back to the question: should a woman leave her relationship once the relationship no longer caters to her needs? Like that's not the purpose of a woman. The woman was created to cater to our needs. She was created literally to serve us. She was made as a helpmeet, you know what I'm saying? Just like if you make a water bottle for water, you know what I'm saying, to contain the water. That's what it's made of. A woman was made for us. But we seem to think that, hey, we got to cater to her needs. No, we take care of her. But when it talks about cater to her needs, it should be, hey, does she serve us? And it goes back to the understanding that our women weren't raised to be wives. They were raised to be served. They were raised to be worshipped. That's why you see all the pictures of a man bowing down to the woman. You see a bunch of that stuff, and it's like, wow, that Mother Earth goddess stuff. And things are so backwards because of people's philosophy on life.
I'm taking that in, so give me a moment.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go ahead.
I think that's very true. And another thing that I've seen is because I understood very early on that I needed to submit to a man, but I found that a lot of men didn't know. Like I was ready to follow, but they didn't even know where they was leading me to. So I was kind of like, how do I follow if you have no idea where you're going or where you want to take a woman to? I'm just following blindly behind you, which can be very dangerous for a woman nowadays. It's almost like jumping in a car with somebody, and I don't feel like I can go to sleep while you're driving because I don't know where we're gonna go. You don't even know where we're gonna go. So I think we have so many issues on both ends because we're just not being taught. Men aren't taught how to lead, and women aren't being taught how to follow.
I agree.
Hey, and what? It's all true points, as you said, all true points. Because like you said, we aren't taught how to do that. We're taught the complete opposite. We're taught different things. And here's the thing too: if a woman decides she's going to be with a man, she needs to be 100% in. See, you can't halfway be in the car. Like if you halfway sit in the car, you got body parts sticking out. If you drive by another car, you're gonna get your leg knocked off. You know what I'm saying? You stick your arm out the window too far, and guess what? You're gonna run by, hit a pole. So you need to be all the way in the vehicle when you're riding. What happens is we have a lot of our sisters they be like, oh yeah, I get in the vehicle for X, Y, and Z. They're not getting all the way in, and then don't realize that they're taking a lot of damage as they ride by different obstructions. That's what's happening. They're taking all this damage because they're not all the way in the vehicle. You know what I'm saying? And then, or they get in the vehicle with someone that is just going to drive right off a cliff. Well, you're going to take damage. You know what I'm saying? And that goes back into that. They're jumping into the vehicle when they shouldn't even do it. So even when it goes into and I want to touch on this question. Not the one. Dang, where is it at? Oh, because this was a good question. Chantel asked, by the way. Chantel said, should a woman marry just because she was asked? And it goes with the question she had asked earlier. So what is the proving stage for? You know what I'm saying? If she knows that she's not what she can handle, why should she commit? Or no, if she knows that he's not what she can handle. So that what she's, I guess the question I'm getting is, and again, if I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, Chantel. What is when you're proving someone or testing, kind of seeing where they're at, you're kind of finding out who you're dealing with. There should be a stage of that, but that stage should come before there's a full-blown relationship. Once there's a full-blown relationship, which should be marriage anyway, once there's a full-blown relationship, what's supposed to happen is, 100% belief, 100% faith. But we get in that vehicle without that faith, and then what's going to happen is we'll have trouble. You know what I'm saying? We're lukewarm in our actions, and we can't be lukewarm. We got to be hot or cold. You know what I'm saying? And people know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know, but you got to be hot or cold. Anybody got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think the issue is people are just jumping in the car, and I think jumping in the car is having sex with this person, just doing things that you shouldn't be doing with people you hardly or don't even know. We're not doing in the Army. We had this thing called PMCS. This was the pre-maintenance and pre-maintenance checks we had to do. PMCS, my bad. Preventative maintenance services and checks, right? You had to check the brakes on the truck before you got in. You had to make sure that the blinker was working, the headlights were working, make sure the tracks were oiled up if you're driving a tank. And I think everyone's just skipping that and just jumping in and going to war with people who they shouldn't be. And now you're in a full-blown war, or now you didn't have sex with this person. You probably have gotten pregnant. You've passed on your sexual energy, your maybe even STDs, STIs. I was a medic, so I've seen the other end of most of these things. People coming in with mono 24/7. You got stuff in your throat, and you wondering. We ask, well, who was your sexual partner? Well, I don't know, or well, I just met him last week, or I don't even know his last name. We can't even contact the person, let them know that, hey, we met your significant other. You're not even significant others, and in most cases, they just hanging out, or we just jumping in the car with people we shouldn't even be. We ain't even check their license to keep the analogy going. We don't even know if they can drive, and we in the car.
Because we like the car just because it looked good. Her booty was big. He got a nice fade. He had waves. He could dance. we just date people for a
he can
superficial
dress.
reason. Right, he can dress.
But
He
the
was
personality's
fine.
missing. There's no getting to really know each other and having those conversations. Because I know I see all the time. I mean, like for me, if a guy says to me, if he wants to text all the time, how can you get to know me like that? So you have a lot of relationships where there's no conversations, that are being had, no questions being asked about important things. And, people say, oh, I want to be married, but why do you want to be married? Are you a good mate? Would you be a good husband? Would you be a good wife? Like, do you know what that is? And those are things that I didn't think about when I was in my 20s. I mean, I wasn't thinking about that. I'm living. Not saying I was going through a whole phase, but I was enjoying being single and living. I was in Atlanta, and I left Kentucky, so I'm seeing this whole new world. But again, I never was told what a wife looks like. I saw it, but I didn't get nothing told to me like how they became a wife, like how my family members, my mother. Nobody talked to me about that. So I just didn't know what all of that meant to be married. But of course, when you're young, you hear people say, oh, I want to be married, have the white picket fence and blah, blah, blah. And, you'd be like, yeah, that sounds good, but not understanding what it takes to be married. We don't always have that concept of what it takes. So I'm putting the work in.
That text thing is a big one, though. That's
But
And a
putting the
lot of
work
married
in.
folk-
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
A lot of married folk don't tell the good of their marriage. You hear men complaining, oh my God, I gotta go home to her. And women are complaining, like, we don't hear the goods of marriage, to where sometimes I think people unknowingly scare other people off from marriage.
Yeah.
Like, why would I want to be in something like that? You haven't said nothing good about marriage. You hate going home. I've heard people at work, all they do is complain about their mate. So it's like, why would I want to aspire to marriage when most of the married people are almost tired of their mates? They're in sexless marriages. They're trying to go on girls trips
No
just to get
affection,
away
no
from
compliments, no nothing.
Right. You see the memes. I sit in my car for 25 minutes and gotta prepare myself to go into her. It's like, well, I don't want to sign up for that. That sounds horrible.
Yes.
I think some of those people were like me, admittedly. They wanted those things, and like you said before, marriage. I wanted marriage at a very young age, but I can tell you now, I did not know what that truly meant, and what it meant to actually be in a marriage.
I think like most of us, I mean, well, for the most part, like people I know, they didn't know what it takes. Because I've heard of so many marriages ending, like they got married young and they divorced young because they didn't understand. And then when kids come along, it changes the whole dynamic. Because, guys at times, they want their attention, and the woman's trying to balance all of that. And some younger folks don't understand how that works. And I don't think they're also told about that. So I've, come across situations like that too.
See what happens, I think, too, in especially a lot of black households. And I'm saying black because we're all black on here. Well, so-called black. So we on here, we all kind of have the idea that, we're, like you said, we're supposed to be in certain positions. We're supposed to be, leading the house, supposed to be, taking care of our wife, taking care of that. But when a woman, when a man comes home, usually he wants he does want his attention of his wife. He wants to be able to get help like that. But us as being what you would call black or slave descendants, we're not in a position to really be able to get the attention from our wives we need to, because she may have come home from her day at work where she's tired, or even if she wasn't at work, let's say she wasn't home, she may have a lot of things to tend to, may have the kids going on in the background. We don't have nannies running around in our homes like, like a lot of what's the word, people that privileged people. A lot of privileged people have things like that. So when you have stuff like that, that's what goes on. You end up with stuff like that, and then you'll have that man that needs his needs catered to. Now you got a woman back to the topic that says, "Hey, my needs aren't being catered to," and now everything's thrown out of whack. She's feeling the same thing. Hold on, let me get to this next comment too. As Chantel said, back to the topic question: should a woman leave a man if her needs are not being met? No, but it is selfish. But is it selfish needs of her, or is it needs that her husband is just neglecting? That's a great question. That is a outstanding question. I won't. Matter of fact,
Can I get it?
Yeah. We said you want to get that first, Kenny?
Please.
All right, go ahead. You got it. Let's go. Then
All
after
right,
that,
so,
we'll come to Monica and then Brandy.
As a man who's been married before and now like seeking new relationship, and I also met me a new young woman. Rick knows this. I would say, as a person, if you say I do and you want to be married to some person, I get that you're tired. I get that we all have kids. I mean, what's 5 to 10 minutes to make sure your significant other is taken care of? I mean, you don't know how much that it means to them, or how much they may actually need it, or how it changes their day. I don't want to get too vulgar, but if a man gets a certain thing from a woman, it's not almost, but I think it is better than going to see a psychiatrist or getting mental health. If you just get that, you come home, you get that, that's all your problems is gone. I'm also used to be an Army sergeant too, so I really don't do excuses. So if I'm married to a woman and I come home from a 12-15 hour job and I walk in, maybe I'm in a little bit of shape, I take a shower, she see me get out of the shower, she's like, "Can you come to the room?" I'm never gonna say, "Oh, I'm tired, not today," or "I can't right now." I'm gonna say, you know what, that's my wife, and I don't know what she's been doing today or what release she may need. Let me go do what I need to do as her husband, as I promised, and go and do this. Now I know a lot of women probably up in arms and their fingers going crazy on the keyboard right now, ready to rebuttal. But I just don't think that's not. And I mean, unless it's extreme where they're like, "You just finished 3 hours ago and I need another round." Like that one time when they've waited for you to get off work 12-15 hours, or it's been a few days. Take the time and just do it for the other person. I mean, that's what I would do. Like I said again, I've also was an Army sergeant and I've spent 10 years in the military. So I don't think there's never been a point in my life where I've actually been too tired to do anything. I think it's whether you want to or not, or just be unselfish again. Army, selfless service. Throw that in there.
All right. Hey, I still gonna come to Monica next. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and come to Brandy. As far as the topic, is it the needs that her husband is neglecting, or is it the selfish needs of the woman? As far as a woman leaving that man, what do you think?
I just think it depends on the scenario, because I mean, we know that you have different reasons on why people leave a relationship. Because what is it, that women divorce men more than men divorce women, right? Isn't that the percentage?
Yes.
But and so I've never been married, but I've had some situations that I know of from people where the woman was asking for the man to go to counseling because the woman kept getting tired of asking, of certain things from her husband, and he wouldn't, he wouldn't do it. And then when she was talking about leaving, now he wants to go to therapy, and she's tapped out at that time. She don't want to go anymore because she asked him consistently, I mean, all the time to go. And then her feelings changed, when he neglected to do certain things. So in that situation, I feel like you'll do what you have to do to save your marriage. But I know, how some people feel about counseling. But if you are willing to save that marriage, then maybe you should, kind of consider that for your wife, that this is what I have to do. Right? regardless of how you feel. Because I mean, you have to take the selfishness out of it to make it about your wife, right? Or your mate.
Again, I would say yes, because that's just
So
how I feel.
yeah, in that situation, but um, and I have heard of marriages ending where it could have been fixed, but the people are maybe one of the mates wasn't trying to do their part to make it better. So you hear situations like that too. So I guess it just depends on the scenario. Because I mean, in some situations, I from the outside looking in, I can kind of understand why maybe this person left. Um, but hey, I can't say because, like I said, I've never been married, so yeah, I don't want to say too much on it.
All right. Monica, what you got on it?
So I've never been married, but I have been in a long term relationship where I do feel like I was forced to leave because my needs were not being met. Like I feel like once I have now, do you automatically leave? No, but if I've already expressed that to you, I've gave it a time period for you to fix that, and I feel like I'm doing my part. Um, then yeah, and then especially if your mate is not willing to seek counseling with you, then it's just kind of like, I can understand why some women leave. Because if I'm constantly pouring from my cup and pouring from my cup, and you're never pouring back into me, then it's like eventually it's going to be empty, and I have nothing else to give you. So I can understand why a woman would leave after her needs aren't being met if she's given um, a man a time period to fix that, especially if she's doing her part and you just don't want to do your part. And like Brandy was saying, and then it's like when you're ready to leave, then it's like, oh, now you want to fix it. Well, I'm mentally done. I've mentally left the relationship because I've been asking and asking and asking. It's like, how long do you want me to stick around and feel neglected?
I'm curious as a man as to what type of needs would you express
Uh,
to a man that you
okay.
would
Hey,
deny
I
to?
was just ready to ask that
Yeah,
question.
I'm so curious as a man as
I,
what you would keep coming to him saying, yo, I need this, and he's just denying. If it's not too much to
Mhm. No, I can.
to disclose.
Like I need help with the children. Um, I was in a relationship with a man that no, we weren't married, but we did have kids together, and I was doing everything. It's like, okay, I've worked all day. Yes, I am gonna come home and cook because that's what I do. But you're not trying to do. You're not trying to do. If I'm cooking, why is my yard not cut? Why, when I go to work, my ain't no gas in my car? Why do I have to go make sure my oil is changed?
oh
Why am
no.
I doing everything and you're not really doing anything? And when I asked you, hey, can you do this? If I'm doing this, can you do that? Can you do your part as a man? And you're not willing to give that back to me. You're content on I'm just gonna do what I want to do. But you gonna do what you need to do as a woman. And me being a woman that grew up with a submissive mother, I'm continuously doing my part, but you're not doing your part. I just needed the simple things. I just needed the simple things done.
What's the age of this relationship? Like 19, 20 or something? I
Yes,
don't see a
yes, it
grown.
was. It
Okay,
was.
okay. I'm about to say I don't
Yes,
see a
it was.
grown man not doing
It
those
was. It
things.
was.
That
Yes, it
just
was.
those
Yeah,
are
we moved
that's
in together when we were 19 because we had a
okay,
child
okay,
together. We came
okay.
from a religious household where it was kind of like, y'all need to be working on trying to get married. I've had this baby together. Um, I feel like I was ready, but he wasn't ready. The way I grew up, we just grew up two different ways.
Now, can
So
I
yeah.
say
Okay, I got.
something about that?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Uh,
Yeah, I was
now,
ready to ask you,
so
Brandy.
one of my friends, her sister, just recently got divorced, and they were in their 40s. I mean, they still are in their 40s, and so she asked him to go to counseling. He refused. He refused. He refused. And see, part of the issue with her was she was always disciplining their kids, and she felt like as the father, why aren't you stepping in and disciplining? So like they could be disrespectful to her in front of him, he wouldn't say anything. He would just sit there. And then too, like in their bedroom, she felt like he was a slob, like he wouldn't want to pick up behind himself, and it became so nasty for her that she moved out of the bedroom and moved in to her one daughter's room because she just couldn't take it anymore. Um, and then too, she wanted to do trips, go on family trips. He wasn't willing to do none of that. And I mean, it was simple things, but he just wouldn't change his mentality. And she just got tired of it. So, he picked up more weight. And he would leave food all in the room, and that we know what happens when you do that. It can cause bugs and stuff. So she just got tired of that, and he wouldn't respond. So when she was checked out, that's when he wants to do the counseling. Like, even like now they're divorced, but they they're cordial, but he still wants her back. But what he don't realize is there's no love there anymore. Like, she's done, and he's still holding out for hope. I kind of hate that for him, because I know she's not going back there. She's just not. Because, I mean, she just got tired of years of the same stuff, and him not willing to, go to counseling to make the relationship better, or see his part and her part too. So she just, she checked out for good.
I had a comment on it. Okay, because I know you said, okay, one thing I know you said the brother was the first one I touched on. You said he wouldn't, because the first brother wouldn't do yard work, which, okay, we already know that's, we talking about, man's working. Now this brother had the children would act a fool, they would be disrespectful. Were they, and a real quick question, were they his children and her children, or
Yeah,
just his
both.
children?
Both of their kids. Yeah.
Okay, so they're their children, and he just really wasn't a disciplinarian, like
No.
much. Did he even, okay, and he did work and stuff, he worked, but he didn't
Mhm.
discipline the children,
Mhm.
correct?
Right.
So he
did.
didn't discipline the children, didn't there was no, as far as order and structure set in the house. Okay.
Mhm.
And then as far as the slot, he didn't clean up. And again, I don't condone any man leaving stuff around. I can't leave stuff junky, but did she have any sense of understanding, okay, well, as the woman, it's her role to actually kind of make sure the house is, the room is clean, and be a keeper at home, keep, straighten things up. Now obviously he should help that out, but as
She
far as
did, but
just,
it got to a point where she just stopped, because she's like, I'm gonna keep doing this stuff. I'm gonna keep picking up, but she just got tired. She just stopped. So whatever mess he made, she just stopped, picking his stuff up, because she just felt like, we're all adults here, and yes, I'm gonna do my part, but you're still not giving me the basic things that I need, in the household. So she just stopped altogether.
but you saying, because when you say basic things that I need, like, all right, again, when I was saying like her role,
Well, I don't
okay,
want to
let's
speak
say,
for her, on that either. So let me not answer that, because
no, I got you. No,
I
no, I
know
got you. I ain't
some
going
of
to
it.
that.
Yeah, I know some
I
of
was just
it.
gonna touch on like the fact,
No.
like, say if it's like, oh, the trash like needs to be taken out. We,
Mhm.
a lot of us understand. Okay, the man's gonna, for the most part, take the trash out and make sure it's good. To be like, all right, well, you know what? She's not meeting her needs. She's not. Let's say she's not giving me any sex. You know what? I'm just
They
gonna
were
let the
missing
trash
too.
pile up in the house. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna let the grass grow and look like the African Serengeti. You know what I'm saying? Are we
Yeah,
gonna do that? No, we still got to do our job. So I mean,
yeah.
but I do understand. I can definitely understand if it's like, all right, he needs to make sure the children are, take care of it. That's why I was kind of wondering, like, all right, should they go get counseling together? So would he really need counseling to go really be like told to go discipline his children? Like, I mean, you could, but find out the bottom of it. Why doesn't he discipline his children? And then discuss that. But when it comes to like, all right, her needs not being met of, being take care of the children, it just kind of throws me off a little bit, especially with the whole he just left stuff around all the time and didn't clean it up. It just kind of sounds weird to me.
It sounds like he was
No, and
sabotaging for a reason to me.
it's more to it than just that. But at the same time, too, I mean, I'm just giving you what I do know, and also there was no romance. I mean, they wasn't having sex, and
There it is.
yeah, they were missing on out on that too. And then I guess too, when he gained a lot of weight, yeah, she kind of wasn't as attracted, and he wasn't trying to lose any weight, because when she got with him, he used to be he used to play in the NFL, but he got injured, and he started gaining weight after that or whatnot, but she still stayed. But then it just came to the point where he just gained extra weight, and it was just, I guess it was just too much for her. I guess, I don't know.
Sexual rejection constantly, especially in the marriage, can lead to definitely weight gain, depression, and a very downward slope. Something was missing in that story. I knew it had to be something to deal with that,
And
to,
she
to
had
deal
her
with
flaws
sex.
too. Don't get me wrong. No, she had her flaws too. I can say that she did. Yeah.
I'm just curious of who initiated the whole "let's stop having sex" deal.
Don't know.
If it
That's
was
a good
on her
question.
end,
That's a good
that would
question.
definitely
That's a
lead
good
to
question.
exactly the type of man you just explained.
Probably was her. Probably
Hmm.
was her.
It's two sides to every story.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is.
Sounds like me, an NFL player would be able to provide a very comfortable living. I'm not sure what.
He wasn't in it that long though. He was only in it for a little bit over a year, so he wasn't in it long. And then he got
Okay.
injured, and he probably felt some type of way, he probably was thinking he's going to be in it for a while, and then his dreams got crushed. So he's having to deal with, regular life again. Not being in the NFL. So I'm sure that probably affected him mentally at some point. So yeah.
And I get it. It's just a lot that plays into it. And again, hold on, let me get this. Hold on. And I like this comment Chantel said. She said the counseling should not be for not disciplining children. Counsel should be, why is it okay for them to be disrespectful to your wife? That's a man. Now, when I tell you that is fire right there, that is fire. Because at the end of the day, that's really it. Because obviously he must think it's okay if he can just sit there and watch that play out. Is like I said, it's more so it shouldn't be about, hey, you're not doing this, this, and this. Why does he let that fly? Because
Right.
most of us understand, husbands understand that stuff ain't gonna go, because we understand that there should be a order of things. We understand that, hey, the woman has to be the mother has to be respected by them children, because that mother is in that place of God to those children. You know what I'm saying? She's that power, you know what I'm saying, that they're ruler, just like the man is the ruler of the woman. The mother is the ruler of the children. So the man's going to make sure that's enforced. So again, that's a great question. Why? You know what I'm saying? Why was it okay? And it's, of course, not to get all the way into the person's business, but that we got to realize that when we're talking about I'm leaving, my needs aren't met, is like, oh, I'm being disrespected, he ain't doing nothing. It's got to be like, okay, what are we trying to counsel for? We need to figure out what it is we're actually going into the situation about.
Well, and I guess it was more so her thing, like why he wasn't more involved or would speak up when those things started happening. Yeah. So.
Oh, and another one, even to touch on as far as, well, I knew there was another comment. It was like, she said he had a cousin that recently left the marriage because, the husband stopped wanting to have sex. And that's really weird. That's a whole nother thing. I don't even want to dive deep into that, but because we usually hear about women not want to, give their husband their due benevolence. We hear about that often, but if a man doesn't want to, that had to be something really, really going on. But like I said, that would go into a person's personal situation. But like Kenny said, with the other situation, it became sexless. He became, she didn't feel like doing anything. He didn't feel like cleaning up. It sounded like some serious depression going on. So yeah, that would be counseling for that. Hey, let's both talk to someone. And if he never wanted to, then it would be like, the question would be why? Why are we not trying to talk? Why are we not trying to solve these issues? But hey, by the way, if anybody wants to, the link is dropped. I was gonna say 10 minutes, but yeah, we can go ahead and get the link in. If anybody wants to add to the conversation, the link is in the chat. Click the link. I'll see you back, in the backstage, and I'll go ahead and bring you up. But go ahead. Who else had any comments for that? For what you?
Oh, the last situation she explained, I feel like that guy I feel like he got to a point where he was just being spiteful. I don't think any man would just sit and let his kids disrespect his wife. I think he got to the point where he felt like she deserved it. Well, you're not giving me no sex. You're not doing this. You're not doing that. You abandoned your duties. Well, let me go ahead and just abandon mine then. So now we equal. Well, the kids kind of pay for that in the long run with them getting a divorce and learning to disrespect their mother. But he had no excuse to be that way. But I can see
that's the thing. I don't know when
the human ways.
I don't know if that was before or after, like when they stopped, being intimate. I don't know when that started, so I can't say, oh, he did that to get back her. I really don't know. Yeah, I don't know when it started.
Oh, it was one more comment I saw that was a really nice comment to get, and that was from earlier. And I was like, oh, I loved it. Because and this was asked earlier, and this was going into just we was talking about as far as getting into a relationship, like should someone leave or whatever, as far as Lori Harvey exploring her options and all of that good stuff, right? Well, bad stuff actually, but it goes into, okay, she was exploring and dating, having sex. People got to ask themselves, what is the purpose of sex? You know what I'm saying? What is the actual purpose? And a lot of us don't really ask that question, just like we don't ask the question of what are we trying to date for. Most people are not dating with intentions or having sex with intentions. So we got to kind of really ask them questions and then wonder why things are upside down. So if anybody got anything to weigh in on that before I bring up Mark, go ahead.
One of y'all want to go? Or you want me to?
I'll just say about intentions. we need to stop saying to people, "Oh, you shouldn't ask what somebody's intentions are so early." No, you should ask those questions.
Mm,
Absolutely. Because I know for
interesting.
me, I was told that, "Oh, girl, you asked him that too early." Oh, I need to. Because when I didn't do that, I'm being in a relationship with someone for 6 months, not knowing what we are, because I wasn't asking those questions and just going along with the flow. No, I had to stop doing that because I wasn't doing myself right by doing it. So no, that needs to be determined early.
Very true. 'Cause I've definitely found myself in those situations where we far in and I don't even know what we are.
Mm.
And we as women sometimes feel like, oh, if I ask that, he's not gonna want to deal with me anymore. He's not gonna want to talk to me. Because sometimes, yes, with some guys, it can scare them off a little bit, especially if he's not seeing you like that. So it kind of makes sense why he hasn't told you what his intentions are with you, well, with the woman.
All right, Kenny, you got anything on that?
I got a hot take. um, I'm 35 now. I would say I've aged a little bit. For my entire life, I've never had a single female friend before. I honestly don't even believe in doing it. I think every girl I've met, I've made my intentions very clear. So if I would have met one of y'all back then, I would have been glad you asked me that question, because I would have told you right off the bat. If a girl even mentions the word friend, I immediately tell her I am not interested in friends at all. I have friends, you have friends, and neither of us are in the market to have any more friends. So I've never had a female friend before. I've never been interested in having a female friend. I have aunts, grandmothers, mothers, cousins that I can speak to if I need a female perspective. I don't need a female friend who's not a bloodline. So, and the purpose of sex, to get back to the question, for me, it was always procreation. So I knew what I was getting into. I never in my life would have laid down or anything with anybody if I didn't first consider. I always ask myself, would I be willing to spend the next 18 years of my life with this person? Because in my mind, if I have sex with you and we have a baby, marriage is automatic for me. I have to get married to you. I don't want my kids to grow up without me. I don't want them to grow up without a mother and father together in the same home. So my intentions were always the same since, again, a very young age. So if I looked at you and was like, 18 years, and it wasn't happening. And there's been plenty of times where I went out with my friends, the 5 or 6 times I did go out, where there was girls who were very attractive, and I said, she has other traits outside of her looks that I won't be able to deal with. The way she drinks, or the way she carries herself, the way she dresses out in public, I can't do it. So I've had to lay in a room before with the other mind thinking way too much and full of blood, and just couldn't do it.
Interesting.
Welcome in, brother Marcus.
Hey, I want to welcome brother Mark. Hey, before I can bring Mark up, I do want to say this. I know you said you did not get with anybody, and you was not dealing with nobody. If you knew 18 years it wasn't happening, whew, I ain't give a damn about that. I was like, man, bring them buns, man. Care about none of that. Hey, you look good. I look good. You, man. Let's. Hey, now did I didn't believe in the nine. I didn't believe in the I wasn't trying to have no babies though. So like, hey, you know what I'm saying? The unprotected thing I thought was always stupid as hell. But other than that other stuff, nah, man, I'm going. I ain't have no sense. I ain't know what was going on. I just knew I knew it. I seen a pretty face, seen a nice body. What's up? You know what I'm saying? But so hey, I like to welcome brother Mark on though.
Hey, what's going on? Shalom, shalom, everybody. Shalom.
Yeah, peace be with you, brother.
Hey, so I was listening in on the topic, man. Some pretty interesting stuff. About the Lori Harvey topic. What was it about? Should a woman get rid of a man once the man quits serving her? Right, something like that.
Yes, yeah, pretty much.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely. Yep, go ahead.
Okay. So my thoughts on this is, first and foremost, are they doing it? Are they having sexual intercourse? That'd be my first thing. And of course, in this case, it'll be a yes. So in that case, then the woman has submitted herself to that man. So that's what you pick. just to be straightforward and forward, just to be straightforward, 1 + 1 = 2. At the end of the day, she picked that man to lie down with. He's going to do what he's going to do as a man to try to entice a woman. And if you believe in the Bible, then if you entice a maid, you shall surely marry her. So she's supposed to be married by that man, but nobody does the second part nowadays. So it's always that the woman become a whore because she's going to keep on jumping from one person to the next person because she's going to continue to do the same cycle over and over again. Because I believe the men ain't in the household. Because ain't no man trying to show the woman who to get with. It's the women's going out there picking by themselves, and they're not. I don't think it's not in them to go out there and pick. It should be the head. The head should be able to be out there and look. So back in the day, I'm pretty sure everybody know that we had our uncles and dads in the house before the integration thing, and you know, the woman was. It was like, that's my daughter. The men took great pride in their daughter. Let's say it like that. They took great pride because they was there and they really took hold of their seed. It was important to them back then. We lost that though. We don't know who we are. We don't lost. It's like the scriptures say in the days of Noah, everything gonna start to be chaos. Everybody gonna become lovers of themselves. So why wouldn't the woman just be like, shoot, he ain't serving me no more. I'm gonna go, let me find somebody else and they're gonna serve me. And you know, she's going for the bag or going for whatever it is, but it ain't a husband. What y'all thoughts on it? I'm just jumping in real quick. What's
I
y'all
think
thoughts?
that's great point. I think that's great points. That's everybody's just doing what they want to do now because we've
Yeah,
gotten away from how it's supposed to be. Nobody,
it's a free for all.
it is. Women are just
Mm-hmm.
doing what they want to do because we now live in a country where women can do what they want to do. We
Mm.
have independence.
Yeah. Well,
We
what's
can do what we want to do. So it's kind of like if I don't want to be with him no more, then I'm gonna keep it moving.
Point blank, period.
Yeah,
You know
and
what's
there
Point
is
blank,
no
period.
crazy about
father
what you said?
guidance.
And
The thing that's crazy about what you said was you brought up the fathers. I've met women or girls who grew up with their fathers and they still eventually behave that way. Or I've been in the airport about to board a plane and I see two young ladies walking up and they're dressed as if they're on the beach. And the person who walks up last is their father. So the fathers nowadays just out of line themselves. They're failing their daughters really.
see, in that,
Fathers
and I
aren't even
100%.
teaching their daughters to look for this in a man, look for that in a man. Don't lay down for this reason. Make sure when you do lay down, you've done these checks, or it's not there. The fathers, even with a father present in the home, it hasn't been there from what I've seen.
That's not the father though. That's not a father in the home. That's the government in the home. You know what I'm saying? That's
Right.
the system that is the daddy. Daddy is, bro. Y'all know
Yep.
who daddy is.
Daddy
Daddy is that.
Well, the
Go
father in
ahead.
the home sometimes can be an extension of the system because he grew up in the system too. Ain't
Oh,
all
that's
he
what I'm
knows
talking
is the
about.
system.
A simp father is pretty much no father. You know what I'm saying? Because only a simp father is gonna sit there and let his daughters dress up like they on a beach, walking
Fact.
around in
Fact.
the airport. But go ahead, y'all.
That's
And a
the
lot of
difference
fathers are
between.
teaching women. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say that's the difference between real fathers and what you got blacks today. That's the difference. You got blacks out here, and that's just dudes just following the ways of life, doing whatever they want to with no guidance or nothing. And that's what you get. That's the outcome. And then guess what? Guess what the sisters pick? Be them dudes. But then you got fathers that's out here that's got a goal and got ambitions and got things. They know what they're supposed to do. Point blank, they know who they are. They know what they got. Their responsibilities are. They love their seed. They love who they are. And then when you start off with learning who you are, and it starts from inside, then everything on the outside has become more clear, because it's like a tree with roots. When you get your identity, then you change, because now you know what you can look back on, because you know the days of old, so to speak. You know, you have a guideline, you have a compass. You know what I mean? So the fathers that get that compass, they love their children, then they won't let their children walk out there and just do whatever they want to. And there is going to be bad children that's going to be bad and wicked, because there's just we got wicked people. So what they did back in the day in the scriptures, they stoned them. But back in today's world, they going to be the ones that go off and just do whatever they want to. But you just don't you don't trim your ways to be like, hey, I'm just going to let them do whatever they want to. You know what I'm saying? You still got to be like a father figure, especially to your kids, especially today in this day and age. It's gonna get bad.
Yeah, it's dangerous now to not be a father now.
Yeah.
It's gonna be real bad here soon. So
And a lot of fathers are teaching women when we talk about the whole independent culture of women. I know I've heard on the YouTube streets that they say it comes from the single mothers, but for the ones that have fathers in the home, it's the fathers are telling the girls, go get your education. Don't worry about no man. You wait on men later in life. You need
All
to
on
go
the
out
same.
there. You need to make sure you get that education, you get you a good job, you make you some money, and then a man will come along. We're not taught how to basically multitask, how to get the husband and still be able to take care of yourself at the same time. It's just not being taught. Men are definitely pushing their girls, go to school, get that education, and worry about a man later on, which is why you see a lot of women, especially Black women, we're not getting married until our 30s because we're not thinking about that in our 20s. That's the time to go to college, get your bag up, get your house, do all that. That's a lot of what's being taught by fathers that are in the home.
Hey, I want to touch on this really quick, because this comment that Christina just put up says she's still in shock, and this is like from what we just heard, what Monica just said. She said she's still in shock that my dad told me I need to dress like other women and get breast implants. Now, like, just think about that. Now you're getting that, as you said, there's fathers that tell their children to, get the bag up, go get your career together. Don't worry about no man right now. But what you're doing is this whole time that you got breast implants and you getting the bag, now you on the scene, and what you're doing is not only are you getting your money up, you getting your body count up. And the higher the body count, now you're going to have more and more of women saying, I need something to serve me. So once he doesn't serve me, let me depart and go get another penis to jump on. And then boom, there we go. Now you're lowering your value, running your miles up, and then here you go with a dude who's been like, dang, how many you been with? How many people? And you still like, because a lot of what women don't understand, because they say body count don't matter. Here's what happens. With that body count that's high, men and brothers, correct me if I'm wrong. When a woman's body count high, we automatically be like, her judgment's bad because she just fall on any penis that just falls into her face. Literally.
Straight up.
Lie about their body count, just so y'all know.
What you say?
100%.
Women lie about their body count.
100%.
Okay. Yeah,
And there's a reason why. Because that's something sacred. And we all know as the natural beings on earth that was sacred. That's supposed to be for one man. And nowadays the women trying to be like men. So y'all running around like men, getting your body counts up. And now you cuckoo like Cocoa Puffs because you got all the different spirits because of the people that you sleep with that you pick. Is wrong. The Pookie Ray Rays, and you know what I'm saying? That's all they got. That's all they got to do.
That's the name I always
you know
use too.
They ain't not putting in no work like that. Or if they put in street work, which is bad work and killing their own people. Stupid. But
hey, no, you good. Hey, you said they putting in street work, and guess what? The women are a mirror image of us. What are the women putting in? They for the streets because we putting in street work. Except they, I ain't gonna get into women saying we for the streets if we got multiple women. That's a whole nother topic we're gonna come to another day. But these women, like I said, with Lori Harvey, we even seen all the people that she's moved on and jumped from dude to dude to dude. It's common knowledge that she's for the streets. It's common knowledge that she's with all these people. Even once you get to the 6 or 7 dude, we're gonna kind of be like, dang, you know what I'm saying? Hey, she doesn't have a good past, like Valiant Thor said. Men want a woman with a good past. That's not a good past. And even the women that, as Monica said, women will lie about it. Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and put a news flash out. We know if you lying, and even if we know, oh yeah, I've been with one guy, and if we see how loose you are with the plan, we know if you slutting it out, man. We know what's up. We're not stupid.
I usually don't do this.
Or just tell us half of the story so we can forget the rest or not want to hear the rest.
And we know there's more to the story.
I'm gonna tell you some of the truth. Now you think I told it all? Nah, we know there's some more back there somewhere.
What'd you have, Mark?
Know better to not lie. But I mean, come on. If she lies about her body count and clearly it shows down there, like, come on, she should be smart enough to know better. That
no, they'll tell you the truth about some of it, hoping that you think that's all the truth.
Hey, but yeah, I can I say so real quick because
hold on. I want to hear it. Hold on, I want Granny to finish her point because she was going somewhere. I think. Yeah, go ahead. Finish what you were saying.
No, I'm just saying women shouldn't lie about that because again, y'all gonna know. Whoever she entertains, if he's experienced, he should know. He'll pick up on that. Like, nah, you couldn't have been with just one guy or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So,
Yeah,
I
because
don't
we talk too much. We'll tell on ourselves.
Yeah,
know.
that feel a little too good. That's a little too much experience you got
That
there.
quick too.
He start
Yeah.
counting
Go
how
ahead.
many times you say, my friend. Well, this one friend I had.
Yeah.
I start
Yeah.
counting it down.
You talking about yourself. Yeah.
Hey, go ahead, Mark. What you got?
No, we can keep going, man. I forgot my point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we good.
No, we straight. But I mean, that's really the bottom line is we just got to understand what's going on. Like when things are going certain ways, and it leads people to believe they need more. And that's another reason why high body count's bad, because like, oh, well, I don't mess with 5. What's wrong with 6? I don't mess with 20. What's wrong with 30? You know what I'm saying? I done had 10 dudes spray in my face. What's wrong with 17 dudes? You know what I'm saying? They keep on adding it up, you know what I'm saying? Because like, hey, I'm cool. Like, understand that when you decide you can keep leaving and keep on departing, like, oh, it don't serve me no more. Like, yeah, you're not realizing that you're making things tougher on yourself. You're not realizing that on top of that, you teaching all these younger women to be talking about, I don't cook, I don't clean, but I can show you how I got that ring. Like, you're gonna teach all of them the same thing.
Yeah. I can't stand that. I can't stand hearing stuff like that. And can I ask a question though? And this is just, because I always think about this. So if we want that part of our behavior to change on both parts, both men and women, who has to be the one to stop it? The man or the woman?
Kenny, you go first, and then Mark, and then I'll weigh in too.
I'm going to say the man has to change first.
Okay.
But I think
Mark, what you got?
51. I'm going to go 51-49 though. But go ahead.
The question
you
was
said 51-49.
Yeah, women have to stop accepting men who aren't up to par too. That's a lot more men doing the right thing than there is doing the wrong, and the wrong seem to get picked a lot more than the right. So now some of the brothers on the right you have to jump ship. I want some too. Let me jump ship real quick so I can at least experience me a woman before just being Mr. Good Guy over here. Poindexter's.
Mark, what you think? Who should do it first?
On it, of course, I have to go with the instruction, the head. It starts with the head. The man has to get right first. Everything starts with the head. You start at the head of the snake, the body will follow. Everything will get in order. So 1 before 2, I would say my thoughts starts with the head, the man.
All right. Hey, I'm with both of the brothers. Starts with the man, and I won't even say I'm gonna take it as far as 95-5. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of, especially is real popular in the YouTube streets, in the manosphere. A lot of it's like when the women change, everything's gonna change, everything's gonna happen, everything's gonna get fixed. And that's another. I'm not gonna dive deep into that today, because that's something I would like to say for a later date as well. But the men should absolutely change first, because at the end of the day, as Mark said, the head goes, the body follows. The rest of them will fall in line if the men get a certain way. Because even with the question, should a woman leave the relationship once it no longer caters to her? If the man actually fixes himself, he will never get with the woman that is this type of, that moves in that spirit. He's not gonna get with a woman that's just gonna lead, that's gonna be selfish minded. A man, an intelligent man is thinking about legacy. He's thinking about his future. A woman that thinks of herself is not going to add to him, but just take away from him. That's why she said it no longer caters to her needs. He needs a woman. We need a woman that's going to build and add to us, not going to take from us. She's just taking. That's all she's doing. So when a man fixes that, and we start leaving those women alone, aka to die alone, a la Kevin Samuels, let these women fall off. They'll become extinct, and only ones that's gonna be left are the ones that are useful. So when a man fixes it, we're gonna be straight.
God, hey, let me ask you, can I jump on right quick? Say something. Let me be the bad guy.
Oh yeah, bring it out. Let's go. Let's get it.
So what if you were saying it was the man? Well, we both say it's the man. But what if the woman, let's say if we look at this from the other aspect of it, let's say if the man is not serving the woman by providing her protection. You know, that's the thing for the man to do, is to provide, protect, to be a leader. So if the man is not serving the woman in one of them categories, do they give the woman the opportunity to throw up the deuces? What's your thought? Is that what she
Kenny,
mean by that?
what you got?
If you look at that question, yeah, a different way.
Are you saying if the man decides to say deuces because the woman isn't?
No,
No,
he's
no,
saying if
no,
the
no, no,
man
no.
doesn't, if he doesn't protect and provide and his role, he doesn't do his job as
What?
a man. Does the woman have the right to leave?
Yeah,
Yes,
I
yes,
feel
that, and she shouldn't even been there in the first place.
yeah, that's true.
Again, going back to the car analogy we used, you should have checked the brakes and the tires and everything else first. You shouldn't even been in the car with him in the first place.
True. And if I can't trust you in my
And
life, no. Mm-mm.
I don't know,
Hey,
man.
hey, I like that she. Let me touch on real quick, Mark. Let me get this because as Brandon Els, you just said that right. Can't trust you with your life. Okay. Hey, as Brandon said, you can't trust him with your life, right? Well, let's really let's dive into that. We're not gonna say dive deep,
I'm
but let me just say this. If you can't trust him with your life, here's the thing about it. Being that it's our job, any woman should not be with a man that is not willing to sacrifice his life for her. If he's not willing to die for her, she should not be with him. Now,
Right.
why do I bring this up? Because it's something. People think of it as, oh, will he dive in front of a bullet for me? Okay, yeah, that's like something that is highly unlikely to happen. But you show your sacrifice on someone what you'll do for them. So if you're willing to go out and you're willing to fight to provide for them, to make sure they got somewhere to be safe at, to have food on the table, to have their children to be safe. These are the things that are just straight up required. So I wouldn't even call it him serving her. That's him actually just doing what he's supposed to do as far as being in his position. Like, say we talk about God. If God is over us and God is protecting and providing for us, that's just required off top. It's not even really him serving us. That's just him doing what he does for us because he loves us. Because at the end of the day, we know that men, we're going to love women more than women will love us, because that love is going to show in our provision, protection, and all that other good stuff. But that's my thoughts on that. Go ahead, Mark.
Okay. Well, okay. So serve is synonymous with submit, and we know what the scriptures say that the husband gonna submit to the wife as well, right? So that's what I'm saying in the context of we're submitting to each other, as in the husband is gonna provide what he's supposed to do. Like going back to that other question, but y'all already answered it, man. That's what's up. Good stuff.
Well, I wouldn't say the husband submit to the wife as well. Well, that's a whole nother. I'll just put it like this: we submit to each other. The men submit to each other as far as in submission to God. Now, we don't submit to her. Well, I'm not submitting to her at all. It's not even happening. My wife ain't. I'm not submitting to her. but we do, as far as being that we willing to sacrifice our lives for her. Then she understands that her life is in my hands. Meaning, I'm gonna meet death before she meets death. If that makes sense.
It does. Mm-hmm.
If you laying down to sleep with somebody, whether protected or unprotected, isn't their life already technically in your hands?
Facts.
Yes, man.
That one
absolutely.
encounter could definitely kill you.
True. Yep.
Hey,
Or
and
take
that's
the
the
rest
thing.
of your life as you know it away from you.
That's the thing women got to understand. Like when you allow a man into you, you're allowing him to dominate you. He's literally dominating you in every way. And I don't want to get too graphic, but y'all understand the point. So if he's on top of you, behind you, whatever you want to say, he's dominating you. So if you're letting this man dominate you physically, how the hell can you not let him dominate you mentally, where you're saying, hey, you're not serving me, I'm out? No, you let him dominate you, then you stay in that position at all times, not just physically.
I mean, of course, if a man's leading you righteously, I don't see what issue you would even have.
There you
That's
go.
the key.
If he's leading
That's
you
the
right,
key.
yes, that's the key word.
That's the key.
But
That's
the
the
women
key.
want to
Gotta
be
be
led
righteous.
righteously. But never mind.
It's
That's
only
another.
one way.
We're gonna go into something else. Y'all gonna make that. We ain't gonna do it. Hey, let me take this question from the comments, because Des with a mess had a question. Said, what is considered a high body count? Mark, we're coming to you first. What you got?
Well, I would say first and foremost, everybody's gonna be different. Every man's gonna be different depending on how they grew up, and every brain is different. Every man gonna be different. High body count could be 5 and under, over 5. I would say over 5 for me. I'm kind of strict though. You know what I'm saying? Some people say 20. And I'm like, yo, how did the lady lay down with 20 dudes? But once again, I'm different too. Like I started everything late. I grew up with mama and daddy, and I was out in the country. But when they opened up that Pandora's box, I joined the man. Let me stop it. But from that day on, and then I've always had a woman all my life. You know what I'm saying? So I've always had a woman. So I've never known like the hardships of like not trying to get women and stuff like that. But
Hey, I'm talking about how body count for a woman. Now, she's talking about. Yeah, hold on. Yes, she's talking about for a woman.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yep,
Hey,
blah,
hold
blah,
on,
blah.
real quick.
All of
Let's
that
say this
on.
real quick. High body count for a man. Look, women, shut the hell up. Ain't no hot man. Stop it. Look, we don't even go into that high body count for a man. This is not even the same. But go ahead, Mark. All right.
I would say 5 and over. My bad. There you go. I say, me personally, I say 5 and over.
All right. Monica, what you got?
I don't know. I guess it depends on the age of the woman. I think that has a lot to do with it as well, because we know Black women are getting married later in life. So I can't put a number. I think every man is different on that. Every man is going to be different. So I don't know. I've never personally, at my age, I've never, ever had a man ask me about body count, ever. It's only been a YouTube question.
Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
Wait, you said
just real quick. It do depend on the age. It depends on the age of the woman, and that'll determine like what the numbers is at. You know what I'm saying? Because age does play a factor in that. I think so. That's real quick. That's me. I'm out.
All right, go ahead, Kenny.
All right, I think let's say 5 can. You could say 5, and 5 can be different for different people. Let's say you meet a girl who slept with 5 to 10 dudes, right? And those 5 to 10 dudes came. Oh, me and my girls went on a girl trip, and I slept with this guy. Well, I went down for spring break and I slept with that guy. Then another girl can say, well, I've had 5 boyfriends and long distance relationships, and I've only ever had sex with my boyfriends. Now, those are 2 completely different 5s.
Exactly.
One is kind of vomit inducing, and the other one's like, okay, I understand. You were in a relationship with this guy, it didn't work out. But like, just the other one is tough to deal with.
Okay. Brandy, what you got on that?
I'm like Heather, I can't really say because it's just a matter of, like she said, the age. And then too, you also have to realize that some women were never relationship types of people. They may have not had no long-term relationships and may have been dating here and there. And it just depends. I mean, it really does. So I just kind of think it's weird for a woman to answer that. I mean, because really, I think that's for y'all to answer. But I mean, for real, it's the first time somebody's ever asked me that. So I can't really say. That's for y'all to judge or whatever.
Hey, I gotta first say, hey, I gotta give props to my sister Brandy just coming up. She said that's for us. Hey, you rarely hear women say, hey, that's up to the men. You know what I'm saying? The men determine these things. That's a for one, it's a beautiful thing. Let's first understand that. That's a great thing. Because it kind of is a level of humility, and that's something that, hey, us as men, we look for. I mean, I'm sure the brothers can definitely agree with that. We love that humility, you know what I'm saying? That willingness to accept, hey, whatever y'all saying is the best is what's gonna go. So but as far as me, body count, high body count, that, and I hate to say it's not a number, but it go like I said, it goes with the age. It's a mathematic formula. You know what I'm saying? You put an age and where they're at, and then you kind of actually sometimes you got to factor in, all right, did they actually have any training from their father coming up? You know what I'm saying? Did they have anybody they live with? Because if you got a girl that had her father in the house, you know what I'm saying? She growing up and in high school, she done smashed 10 dudes. She's a hoe, straight up. Like, I mean, come on. Like, your father was there. He was telling you to stay away from these dudes, and you still doing it. Now, if you didn't, you had somebody that didn't have that privilege, and you weren't, you didn't know better, but you was like getting boyfriends thinking this is what it was. Or you may have thought love was someone, a man showing you that type of attention. Yeah, you may have some things skewed, and you may have to be told so you can repent, quote unquote, and understand what you're doing. Even though we all understand what we're doing, but there's a difference. And of course, also throwing in, if you're
also say something.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. What's your question?
And you also have to understand too that you have some women that honestly were molested, and for whatever reason, they become very sexual when they get older, and so they don't see body count as an issue at all. So I just think it just depends on the person when it comes to stuff like that. That needs to be factored in.
Yeah. Hey, and you know what? That's very true. And I'm gonna be honest. I'm that dude that I wouldn't want to deal with that type of trauma. Me, I don't want a woman that's had a million. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I can't. Oh, you've had how many in you? Nah, I'm straight. You know what I'm saying? And it just is what it is, because like Mark said earlier, your mental is gonna be completely off because got all these spirits in you. It messes you up. You know what I'm saying? Not that soul tie stuff. Oh, it's a soul tie. So the man gets affected by being. No, we don't. Stop that. The woman, y'all done had all them different dudes up in you, dominate you, controlling you. That definitely changes who you are. You know what I'm saying? And it goes back to where, and then you end up with the idea of a Lori Harvey of, I need to be served. Help me out. Because think about that woman has been traumatized, has been molested. She's now looking out for her needs. Not saying she wanted to be like that, but that trauma messed up her head, and now that's how she's going to be. She's going to be seeking her own will, her own goods.
Now, do y'all think there's room for a woman to redeem herself, to where maybe she did have a very active past, but then maybe she came into some type of truth, or maybe she took accountability, now knows the error of her ways, and maybe she went on a period where she wasn't doing anything for 7, 8, 9, 10 years, and she's corrected her behavior, and now she is a different woman.
All praise to the Most High. All right, hey, all praise to the Most High. That's all I can say on that. She did it. She changed. She repented and she changed. How you gonna falter? And if you do, you need to be checking yourself.
Some people don't have room for error. Some people don't.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But if she actively doing it though, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But if she changed over a period of time and she got herself right, figured out her errors and her ways, and changed, that's it.
Yeah, actually got to match those words too.
So does a woman?
You can't be saying you
say
changed and then you
nothing?
still going to the club every other weekend.
Can't do that no more. That all changes. You become a Proverbs 31 woman when you want to change like that. The scriptures tell us, because there's only one way. There's only one way. And whenever you say that you change and you repent, you go to the scriptures, so you become a Proverbs 31.
Oh, I think you went to the Matrix. And say, yeah, you freezing up. And so okay, go ahead.
Oh, okay, my bad. I was saying that when you repent and you change, you become that Proverbs 31 woman. Whenever, you know what I'm saying, you get through doing your phase in your life and acting up, then when you repent and you change, you become that Proverbs 31 woman. Then you look for the husband, or the husband come find you because you be that wife. That's my
like he said that the husband come find you. You know what I'm saying? The husband come find you. So yeah. And so and my answer to that, yeah, if a woman changes or how she was, and I did hear your comment, Brenda. I know you said, would it be best for y'all not to tell it? No, tell us, because at the end of the day, like I said, we'll find out. We'll figure out what type of, how you've been. But if you've changed and you truly are becoming a new person, we're gonna see a lot of us. We understand we understand that the effort is important. Effort shows that you are actually trying to fall in line. You're trying to fall in line with some type of righteousness, some type of structure. And when you see you falling in line with that, then the level of the heights that you can reach, you know what I'm saying, is just it's beyond imagination. You know what I'm saying? And a man sees that and gonna get excited. He's like, oh man, she's willing to submit. She's kind, she's agreeable, you know what I'm saying? She's caring. Oh, hey, you know what? I can work with this. You know what I'm saying? I can mold her to what I need her to be. Because at the end of the day, that's what men we're looking for. We're looking for someone we can mold to what we need. And that means someone who can mold to what we need. Then she is that woman that is going to cater to our needs instead of trying to get us to cater to hers. We're not molding to you. Y'all molded to us. Y'all belong to us. But yeah, I ain't gonna go too much into it. What you got, Kenny?
All right, that woman who said you had that past and then now she's willing to change and come in, especially to come into the truth now, is more valuable than, let's say, a woman who's out there who hadn't done anything and isn't willing to come into the truth, or to be a wife, or be a woman who's worthy of marriage. And I say worthy because a lot aren't. And also, men look at the landscape completely. I know y'all think men aren't strategic and we just think with our penises, but if I look out on the landscape, you got A, B, and C. You got A, the girl who's out in the world living her best life. She having a hot girl summer. You got the girl who probably hasn't done anything, but she's not trying to hear anything you say about the Bible or the truth or changing anything. But she's supposed to be a quote unquote good girl, and according to what the world considers good now. And then you have this girl who's C, who's probably been out in the world, and now she's coming into the truth. She want to know the truth, and now she's willing to be that wife figure. C is the best of all three, even though B hasn't done anything, because what the need or want to be a wife and change and being the truth is way more important than both A and B.
Because a woman wouldn't to submit. Monica, Brandy, y'all have anything to add to that?
I don't.
No,
That's
I
it.
agree. I agree.
Yeah,
I definitely agree.
no disagreement here.
Okay, hold on. I got another question from Des with a mess. I want to get this one, and it's probably one of the last ones. Unless somebody have a real great question, I got to touch on. So, man, we're just gonna have to make this a topic. I'm just gonna have to make this a whole topic. So, I really don't understand because this thing is
Please
saying
do.
Let me answer.
And I say that because I didn't look at it. I'm sorry, not to cut you off, but even from me as a woman, I too, what her question was, I was like, well, why do men get to have? But once I sort of understand and everything, I'm like, okay, that's why it doesn't really matter, because of y'all, the purpose, why y'all plant the seed. So, for procreation and everything like that. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, so yeah, we'll leave the question. I'm gonna leave the question and we'll touch on it. But anybody else got anything to add before we can, as far as to add to the part as far as a woman, yes, yeah, is it okay? Should the woman leave her relationship? Once she's like, hey, my needs are no longer being met. This relationship doesn't serve me, as it said in the article. I'm gonna make sure I read it. I'm gonna read this one more again, as it said. I can read the whole article. I just want to touch on that part where it said, if it's no longer serving me, I'm gonna move on. Anybody's got any thoughts on a woman expecting a relationship or marriage, whatever it is, to serve her? Anybody got any thoughts on that?
Like I asked her earlier about the earlier situation she mentioned, I wanted to know what these so-called needs she's supposed to be needing or being served. I just don't think that situation at all is going to be tenable or even sustainable if she's even looking to be served by a man. That's just not. What are these things you need served to you, and what are these needs that you're asking for as a woman from that man? I mean, I think she's looking for another woman, and in that case. Because if she keeps searching to be served by a man, it's just never going to work. Not by a grown man, a real man. Maybe one of these boys out here.
But I think also, like Monica said earlier, we don't know what type of man Michael B. Jordan was in a relationship. And also, she was proposed to at 19. She was proposed by a soccer player, and he's known. So, she got introduced to him early, and I understood at that time why she probably broke it off, because it's like, you young, you a teenager, but I don't know. I just think maybe because who a stepfather is too, and with her being out there in the celebrity world, they view things differently than what we normal people view. I'm sorry.
Is it FOMO? Is it fear of missing out then? If you get married too young, what are you afraid of missing out on?
Maybe that's it.
The other
maybe
penises?
That's it. Yeah, maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Hold on, what was the last?
What I'm saying, what if you get married too soon? What is getting married too soon keeping you from doing?
The carousel, that cock carousel. That's what keep you from.
You can still see the world, live your life, have children, go to the movies, become successful. You can still do all these things while married. What are you missing out on by getting married?
Maybe she wasn't ready for that
too soon.
She's missing out on the carousel.
That's one of the.
I
that's
think
also,
some women
go ahead.
aren't ready to submit, because
Yeah,
I don't
definitely.
think all women are ready to necessarily give up a part of their life to have to submit to a man.
Again, what part of their life would you not have by being with a man?
See,
But people who wasn't raised to understand that's not going to see it that way.
I
So
was
she didn't have a father, or she didn't have a man schooling her on how all of this works. She's not gonna know. She's gonna see her life as primary, and everything else is whatever. It'll come when it comes, when she's ready for it.
Hey,
But
so during that time,
I,
shouldn't she just be single and not
I
deal with
agree.
any men?
Yes, yes. I was gonna say that she just needs to be single,
Mm-hmm.
especially for her to make that statement. She don't need to be in a relationship. No, absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
but you know, nowadays the women are just dating. So how did that work out?
Yeah, the men and women, we're all just dating. We're all
Yeah,
just out here doing whatever we want to do.
yeah.
But women don't want to submit to the man, but they out dating. But then later on in life, they want a man. But then men don't want them because it's later on in life for the woman. Men tend
Mhm.
to like women of younger stature. You know what I mean? Because that's a lot of trauma. You know, maybe a lot of trauma going through multiple dating. This guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, and then it's like, hey, I want a man, and then the man that you get is who? What type of man would you get then after you've been through dating all of this time? What is the man that you would get at the later on in age? I would say
The one they
that's a
settle
good
for.
question. The one they settle for, and would that be their top pick?
Nope.
Mhm. And that's why older women have to make submission look attractive, because right now, how it's presented to most younger women, it just doesn't look as attractive as Hot Girl Summer. It sounds like cooking, cleaning, catering to that man, doing whatever he says. If from a 21-year-old mindset, does that sound fun? Most 21-year-olds be like, I ain't trying to do all that. I
Don't
gotta
forget the
cook,
not having to
clean.
work part if this man is very successful or is
But
very
how
stable.
many women are in that position to where how many younger women are meeting women that are not having to work? Most women are working, taking care of the kids. Most younger women are not around women that are housewives. How many
Yeah.
black women do we know that are really housewives?
I know a lot who could be or could have been and decided not to be.
Very true.
Mm,
I was one of those.
mm.
Very true. Very true.
So it all
So
goes back and
overall,
forth. Oh, go ahead, Mark. What you got?
do you think this is the destruction of, I guess, us as a people? Because that's where we start building us up as a people is with families.
The nuclear family.
Right. We're
Yeah.
powerful. Our family dynamic. Yes.
There's also been an agenda set against us, and a lot of us aren't aware of that in order to
Yep.
move past the agenda that's been set out there for us not to have nuclear families.
Because
Bingo. Hey,
you
and
have black women who want to be feminists, and it's like that's not for us. We should never be a feminist group at all. We were used to be black. I mean, used to be feminists, and so when I hear certain black women say certain comments, I'm like, like we all say, who hurt you? Who hurt you?
Mhm.
I'm glad a woman said it before one of us did.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
hey,
Mhm.
and like the comment just said, Christina said, submission is seen as slavery.
Yes, it is. We
Right.
gotta make it sure.
It's not taught right. Well, I don't want to say it's not taught right, but our perception of it isn't what it should be. Because some of us don't understand how that works.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know what I would give to be able to just to sit at the house all day, hang out with my kids, cook, clean, not have to work, drive a car that I don't pay the bill or the car insurance on, and just have a card given to me saying, hey, if you need something, you can use this card. You know what I would trade to do that? No homo. I really don't. The marriage for a woman is probably one of the best things that could happen, because a man's probably going to work till he can collect his pension or retire from something or leave the military after 20 years.
Yeah.
You think you want to trade? I as from my perspective, I really don't understand the opposite side. If I could have the opposite side and still be a man, I wouldn't work at all. I come on every day, get on the game, cook food, cut the grass, whistling like I'm on a 1950s TV show. I'd be happy. And I don't understand how men in these positions are having so much trouble finding a woman who's willing to just to that word, who sees what I just explained and think slavery. That's crazy.
I think we have to unlearn some things, you know,
Mm.
and gain new knowledge. Because I mean, I'm 41. A lot of things I know now and have, you know, found out in the last few years. I'm just now finding these things out. I wish
Mm.
I knew the things I know now 20 years ago. I would have moved differently. I definitely would, and I would have. I mean, I would have done a whole lot of things different. So we
Mm.
have to have these conversations more often, and just understand our roles and how things work. Um, but again, I grew up in a single parent household. My mother works. There wasn't a lot of affection there. I didn't know about affection like that until I got older. It wasn't no I love yous and hugs and all of that stuff. And some men, you know, were like, "You're not affectionate enough." And I didn't know where it was coming from until they explained. I was like, "Oh, okay." And I gained it, you know. I started becoming affectionate. But again, a lot of us, it's not that we don't want to, we just don't know how. We
Right.
wasn't given the game. So some men be wanting these women to be this person and they don't know how to be, just like
Mm.
some men don't know how to be that fitting, you know, mate for us women. So it goes both ways.
Facts, man. Boom.
Christina
Yeah, yeah.
Israel
Hey,
spitting some fire.
I like her.
Christina Israel spitting
Oh,
some
thank
fire.
you.
Man, submission is liberating, man. Yeah.
So at 41, are you still considering marriage at some point, or are you like you've quit?
Great question.
I haven't quit, and I'll be honest. Should I even say it? Look, Monica, should I even say it?
I mean,
Say it.
yeah,
Bring
keep
it
it
out.
real.
We want to
I
hear
was
it.
okay. I was single for 8 years, but that was my choice. I was single for 8 years, and during them 8 years, I got to learn a lot about me and learn a lot about relationships and the dynamics. Because Monica knows I used to be, I don't want to say anti-male, but I was hurting at the time. But once I understood things for what they were and based it on that individual and not the entire male, you know, all men, I realized that, okay, I'm picking wrong. So I had to accept my accountability and also mature in ways and learn things I didn't know.
That's heavy.
So, but I'm not
Yeah.
saying that I'm against marriage. No, I'm, you know, it's, if it happens, you know, I'm okay with that. I'm not against it. No.
What does that
This
pool?
all
What does that pool look like at this point? Though? I mean, I'm pretty sure most men that you'll be willing to date probably already have children or have been married, or
Yeah. I
unless you
mean, yeah,
somehow
one of
find a 40-year-old virgin, then I'm not.
the, well, actually, I have a friend right now. He's 40. He don't have no kids.
Oh,
And
okay,
he
shit.
does want, he does want kids or whatnot. He said he would either, you know, he would even be a step parent, and meeting somebody like him is rare. But there still are some men out there who, yes, 40 years old and don't have kids. Not a
Get that
lot,
brother,
but there are.
get that brother up here in the classes with Rick Judah, so we can make sure you well
man.
taken
On a
care of.
side note, all of this happened. It started to happen whenever our families got destroyed.
Yep.
It was just a whole trickling effect. And like you were saying, you just not hearing about all this information. And I'm seeing how the world changing. And I got kids growing up, and it's gonna be crazy by the time they get old. The
Mhm.
only way they're gonna be able to pick somebody is if they following the way. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's only like it's gonna be crazy. But it's all part of them curses, I believe, that was on us stuff. I think it's all part of them curses.
hey, and that's why
Yeah.
it's up to us as men to really actually understand what things are and actually to move in that way. And then at the end of the day, we make these women gonna fall in line. We gonna make them do it. You know what I'm saying? But that's gonna be the next topic. But I gotta get ready to head off soon. So and we hey, like I said, be back next Sunday. Say we should be able to start on time, like hit 4:30, and we'll be able to, you know, have the next topics posted, and then I'm gonna let everybody know what's up.
Brother Rick ain't expected to get this good.
Yeah. So yeah, I had to hold back on certain things because it's a lot of it would go into other topics. So I want to try to keep it on there.
Take note
'Cause-
though. Take notes of things that we can talk about. You know.
Yeah, next time. This was great discussion. Great.
'Cause, yeah,
It was.
yeah.
It was
Absolutely.
nice
And,
to meet y'all, by the way.
Same here.
You as well.
Nice to meet y'all. Nice to meet y'all.
for sure. And
Hey,
and
brother.
even if we see any articles or things that's going on good, any things that would be good discussions. Obviously, we got the group, so y'all know what to do. Post it up in there, and we'll continue on from there. You know, I got a bunch of topics up, but hey, if it's certain things we can hit up at this moment, we'll get to it. And yeah, everybody is willing to speak on it. Everybody's willing to join in. You know, let's get it. Oh, like, hey, man, my wife was in here. I didn't even see. Look, she was creeping the whole time. She was lurking on me. That's all right. I see you though.
Hamburger.
Hey, but like I said, hey, we'll see everybody on. And like I said, nice to get everybody on, and we'll continue and continue to put up. We'll talk in the group, and we'll get everything set up for next week. Like I said, love discussion though. Like I said, all praise to the Father. Hey, you know what I'm saying?
Glory to the Father.
Yeah.
That's right.
And for sure.
I love y'all.
All right. Hey, everybody, let's have a good one.
All right.
Hey, did somebody have a comment in closing? My bad. I make sure I didn't miss nothing.
Not me. I'm good.
No.
Oh.
Let's just keep
All
the
right, for sure,
discussion
for sure.
going. Are we coming back next Sunday?
Oh yeah. Next Sunday I'll be going again. And actually shortly, when I'm gonna start dropping more throughout the week. At least if I'm not gonna have a bunch of them, I'm gonna have pre-recordings. A lot of stuff is gonna be pre-recorded, but Sunday's gonna be the live discussion day. So, but we'll discuss all of that. We'll get all that together.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, for sure. All right, everybody, y'all have a good one.
You too.
Peace be
Well,
unto
you
y'all.
all
Hey,
too.
by the way, hey, these cameras are gonna be on next week, so you know what I'm saying. I'll let y'all get away with it.
yeah,
let me
These
just say
cameras
this
on.
real
Hey, if y'all want to see my face, man, y'all head over to twitch.com, Kenny Cobb Show. I'm at all the time with my camera on.
Oh yeah. By the way, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, Kenny Cobb Show. Yeah,
I am
give
an
him a man.
actual streamer, so
Yeah,
I'ma try to
he
catch
getting
y'all
he
next
Yeah,
week.
he
I'm
getting
gonna check.
monetized.
Cause I'm
Is
gonna be
that
out
what
of
the name of
town.
your show is? Kenny Cobb Show? Make
yeah,
sure I
Kenny
subscribe.
Cobb Show on
Kenny
Twitch.
Cobb- okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. My bad. I straight up forgot. But yeah, get him on there. Yep, and and as a matter of fact, I'm gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna get with you early, Kenny. Be like, hey, we'll get you some glasses. So you know what I'm saying. yeah. You know what we talked about earlier. Yeah. So yeah, we'll be getting it going though. So hey, like I said, good discussion. And y'all have a good one.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace.